Hello everyone. Today we are going to be looking at what we should be eating and what we should not eat. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The food we eat keeps our bodies in good shape and working efficiently. It provides energy, strengthens our immune system and improves our minds. Although many people shun fat and meat, it has been established that they are of great importance to the brain, and this fact must be carefully considered. There are still many misconceptions about nutrition. Nutrition affects not only the condition of our bodies, but also, and perhaps more importantly, our minds. Vitamins help to lose weight. Enzymes burn fat. Weight gain is due to fatty foods, so diet foods are the solution. Obesity is connected only to food, and so on. Instead of relying on oversimplified generalizations, it is important to devise a moderate diet from all food groups, including proteins and animal products, because they remove toxins from the intestines and supply the body with natural vitamins and minerals. It is good to eat in small amounts, but often, perhaps 4 to 5 times a day, since this way of eating reduces the chance of plaque production in the blood and prevents it from storing it in the internal organs and arteries. It is established that most physical ailments, especially the leading cause of death, the heart attack, are caused by improper nutrition. According to Dutch medical specialists, people who gain a significant amount of weight after the age of 35 to 40 shorten their lives by approximately 7 years. Also, if a 40-year-old woman smokes and is overweight, she will live, on average, 13.3 years less than a non-smoking woman of standard weight. When we speak of proper nutrition, it is imperative that we associate it with long life. Quality of life in old age is not about turning back the clock to maintain an artificial extension or replay of youth, but rather, to increase longevity and make life healthier, happier and more fulfilling within the limitations of age. It is no coincidence that the Japanese boast the best nutrition among their population, and their average lifespan is 82.5 years for women and 76.2 years for men. Suitable combinations of carbohydrates, proteins and fat directly affect brain activity, and consequently, influence our intellectual abilities. Carbohydrates feed the brain, proteins slow down the carbohydrate absorption rate, and fat aids in the production of the hormones that make us happy and also assists in balancing the nutritive chemicals in the bloodstream. In addition to the main food categories, trace amounts of specific elements and minerals can have a profound influence on health. For example, the selenium contained in dairy products alleviates stress and is a very good defense against aging. Is it possible to become happier through proper nutrition? Most definitely the answer is yes. The human brain is composed of and maintained by a certain number of building blocks, supplied through nutrition. The brain requires fat, amino acids and proteins to sustain its solid structure. When these substances are missing or insufficient, the brain loses functional efficiency, which in turn causes accelerated aging. Do not avoid fat altogether for fear it may clog arteries. On the contrary, certain fats, such as those found in olive or sunflower oil, cod liver oil, almonds, peanuts and walnuts, are valuable and essential. It is these fats that structure the nerve cells in the brain. The limiting of fat should be closely monitored, so that it does not damage brain function. Proteins are also of significant importance. Enzymes, which allow cells to receive messages, and some neuromeridians, are actually proteins in different proportions composed of amino acids in the food. The conclusion is that the brain needs proteins to stimulate proper activity. Meat, eggs and dairy products supply the required animal proteins to the human body. It has been proven that a lack of vitamin B9 is the chief contributor to memory loss during the aging process, and that the liver supports and strengthens the memory. Vitamin B9 is contained in whole grains, egg yolks, beans, walnuts and spinach. If we add vitamins B6 and B12, contained in fish and meat, we create a healthy blend that guarantees us optimum memory strength. The ancient Roman physician Galen recommended walnuts for stimulating brain activity. His suggestion was based on the ancient theory that body organs should be treated with foods that resemble them. And the walnut, with its convoluted surface, does indeed resemble the folds of the human brain. Modern medicine confirms that walnuts stimulate intellectual ability, help prevent tumors and heart disease, and lower bad cholesterol. That's why it is important to consume no less than 1 ounce of walnuts per day, at least 3 times a week. Vitamin E, which is just one valuable constituent of olives, walnuts as well as other foods, protects the biological membranes from aging. Broccoli, peppers, cabbage, lemons, oranges and other products containing vitamin C have a direct influence on the blood circulation in the brain. And in order to prevent the reduction of red blood cells, which supply oxygen to the brain, we need to include iron-rich foods in our diet. Additional research showed lower IQ scores among young, vegetarian girls, in contrast with girls of the same age who enjoyed a balanced diet. The bread, pasta food group, particularly whole grain and multi-grain, is perfect fuel for the brain, and the lack of rice, lentil and glucose causes hypoglycemia and dulls brain function. Carbohydrates are the best energy source for our body, since they digest slowly, are absorbed into our system in small amounts, and feed the brain longer. We have all been taught since grade school that water is of extreme importance to the human body. We may be able to live without food for 2 to 3 weeks, but no more than 3 days without water. Indeed, water represents 70% of a human's body mass. Every one of us loses around half a gallon of water daily, an amount that needs to be replenished. Some of the water we receive through the food we eat, but the majority simply has to be drunk. If this does not happen, the result is dehydration and cellulite, including aging. Besides pure, uncontaminated water, fruit juices and teas are not only useful, but necessary as well. According to scientists, the decrease of water in the body blocks the biofilters and causes different pathologies and subsequently aging. We cannot disagree with the fact that rational and proper nutrition will improve our health, make us more joyful, smarter and prettier, extend our lifespan, and ultimately, stimulate our inner being and help us achieve absolute happiness. Eat healthy and be free from anxiety. Everyone experiences anxiety, even children. In fact, being unable to do so can be the sign of quite a serious problem. In our hazardous world, anxiety is a strategy that the body uses to help the mind recognize and keep well out of the way of danger. As with most mental illnesses, it's not the presence of anxiety alone that creates problems. It is more about how severe it is and how much it gets in the way of life. Most people feel anxious at some time in their lives. However, about 5% of people experience severe anxiety but rarely seek professional help. Anxiety is a mixture of physical and mental symptoms. They are part of what psychologists call the fight or flight response. When the body is under threat, it automatically prepares either to defend itself or run. Anxiety is a normal reaction to stress. It helps one deal with a tense situation in the office, study harder for an exam, keep focused on an important speech. In general, it helps one cope. But when anxiety becomes an excessive, irrational dread of everyday situations, it can become a disabling disorder. Effective treatments for anxiety disorders are available, and research is yielding new and improved therapies that can help most people cope with anxiety disorders, lead productive and fulfilling lives. However, studies have shown that having a healthy diet may reduce signs and symptoms of anxiety. Although food can't cure an anxiety disorder, consider some changes to your diet. Avoid or limit caffeine intake as much as possible. Caffeine is present in many soft drinks, not just tea and coffee, and it can set up its own vicious cycle. Caffeine can speed up heart rate and disrupt sleep, which are signs of anxiety. Trying to overcome tiredness by drinking more caffeine only makes the long-term problems worse. Avoid too much alcohol. Similarly, alcohol can worsen the symptoms of anxiety and disrupt sleep. Many people reach for a drink to calm their nerves. But the consequences of overindulgence can outweigh the benefits of initial relaxation. For some, a hangover, insomnia and dehydration make one feel worse than before one had a drink. And the depressants in alcohol can make you feel sluggish and anxious. Alcohol, like a simple sugar, is rapidly absorbed by the body. Like other sugars, alcohol increases hypoglycemia symptoms. Excessive use can increase anxiety and mood swings. During anxious times, turn to comforting carbs. These foods act as a mild tranquilizer by increasing the amount of serotonin, a calming neurotransmitter, in the brain. Complex carbs, such as potatoes, whole wheat bread and pasta, take longer to digest than sugary simple carbs like white bread, so one can stay fuller longer and blood sugar is likely to stay steady, eliminating stress and anxiety. Carbohydrate-rich meals and snacks are thought to increase the amount of serotonin in the brain, which has a calming effect. Be sure to drink 8 or more glasses of water a day. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and stress. One should be well hydrated, and drinking lots of water a day can decrease symptoms of anxiety. Take multivitamins and mineral supplement. B vitamins, whose role is to unlock the energy in food, are crucial, particularly B6, which helps manufacture serotonin in the brain. Choose a daily supplement that supplies 100% of the daily recommendation of all vitamins and minerals. Although tension and daily stresses are unavoidable, one can relieve tension and manage stress and anxiety better by what a person do and don't eat. And that's it for today, everyone. Hope you guys learned a lot today. See you guys tomorrow with another exciting health tip video. Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to receive instant updates on our videos.